Welcome everyone in our next mission after the break. In this mission, one side is evacuating and scouting, and the other side is trying to prevent that as much as possible.
Online, sensors online, weapons online, all systems nominal.
In turn 1, literally nothing happened, just a little unit movement on the wolf side. The Phoenix Hawk captured the first point, and the rest of the wolf forces arrived on the battlefield, meanwhile the defenders are still in hidden deployment. The defenders revealed themselves and started fighting with the wolf forces. The Ocelot, the Cizin and the Wendigo shooting the Donar and damaging with one large pulse laser and causing one rotor critical.
Damage critical.
The Donar shot back on the Cizin and damaging with one heavy medium laser. The Ocelot and the Wendigo was shooting the Bandit but missing it. Meanwhile, the Bandit shooting the Wendigo and damaging with 3 medium pulse laser. On the other side of the hill, the Phoenix Hawk and the Fenris was shooting the King Crab but missing. Meanwhile, the King Crab was shooting and damaging the Phoenix Hawk with one LB-20. The Bandit and the Cizin shooting each other, and both of them became immobile by one laser hit. The Ocelot and the Wendigo was shooting the Phoenix Hawk, and only the Wendigo was damaging with 2 large pulse laser and 1 LRM-15. The Phoenix Hawk shooting and punching back on the Wendigo but missing. And the Fenris was shooting the Ocelot and damaging with 3 medium pulse laser. And the piloting check and the consciousness test was okay due to the headshot. The Elemental was shooting the King Crab but missing, and the King Crab was shooting the Elemental and damaging with one LB-20. The Ocelot and the Cizin was shooting the Bandit and damaging with 1 medium pulse laser, 1 large laser and 1 LRM-15. The Phoenix Hawk and the Bandit shooting on the Cizin and damaging with 1 heavy medium laser and 2 plasma cannon and 3 medium pulse, and the Cizin was destroyed.
Allied unit destroyed.
The Wendigo was shooting the Fenris but missing, and the Fenris was shooting the Ocelot and damaging with 2 medium pulse laser. Meanwhile, the Elemental was shooting the King Crab and damaging with 1 SRM, and the King Crab was shooting the Elemental and damaging with 1 LB-20. The Bandit was shooting the Ocelot and damaging with 1 medium pulse. The Ocelot shooting and destroying the Bandit.
Enemy unit
and
destroyed.
The Phoenix Hawk is taking the objective and shooting but missing the Ocelot. Meanwhile, the Wendigo and the King Crab was shooting the Elemental and damaging with 1 LRM-15, 1 large pulse and 1 LB-20. The Donar was missing the King Crab. The Fenris was shooting the Wendigo and damaging with 4 medium pulse. The Elemental was shooting the Wendigo and damaging with SRM. Meanwhile, the other Elemental was shooting the King Crab and damaging with micropulse and SRM, and the piloting failed for the King Crab. The Phoenix Hawk was taking the objective and shooting the Ocelot but missing. The Ocelot was shooting the Elemental but missing. The Wendigo was shooting the Donar in primary and damaging with 2 large pulse laser. In secondary it's missing the Elemental. The King Crab was shooting the Elemental and damaging with plasma cannon and 2 LB-20. The Fenris was shooting the Wendigo and damaging with 1 medium pulse. The elementals were also damaging the Wendigo with SRM and micropulse. The other two elemental shooting the king crab and damaging with micropulse laser and SRM. And the king crab is destroyed due to ammo explosion.
Allied unit destroyed.
The units were withdrawn from the field for the wolf player, and it technically ended the match because the next turn it was not possible to kill any more unit for the Sea Fox. And this ended the match with 7-2 for the wolf player, which could have been very easily different if the cluster hits for the LB20 was not that low usually during the game. But it technically shown that it was a very close match other than that, because yeah, it was very much on a thread to be different at the end result. The other matches were ended as it's seen. Also mixed results, but mostly the withdrawing forces were victorious, and this changed the current result of the campaign for the following. And the next mission will be a little city fight over some objectives in the city.